Hello, welcome to another episode of Technology Philosophy. Today I would like to talk about the French philosopher Gilbert Simondon and how his ideas of individuation might relate to the context of future persons, a world of transhumanity and posthumanity where the human subject is no longer the exclusive type of intelligent subject. In particular, I'm wondering if it would be possible for a radically different future person to develop in isolation without a context of a collective that is constituted of others similar to itself that promulgates its individuation. Perhaps the lack of consideration of a collective context has been something that has been preventing the development of future persons in the form of artificial intelligence. This is a classic chicken and egg problem about what comes first, the collective or the individuated individual. Simondon would say that the individuation produces the collective as an effect, but there would need to be some leading edge for future persons and the collective to evolve together based on some set of initial conditions of possibility. The necessity of the collective supports the argument that there would not be a hard takeoff, at least initially, since a society of non-human future persons would need to develop slowly, initially forming as beings that are only narrowly differentiated from human. One of the biggest questions is whether the collective must be others that are like the individual, or could the collective be reduced to exteriority in general? A separate issue is what interiority and exteriority might even mean in a dramatically different context of digital and physical world future persons. Perhaps the function of the collective in the process of individuation can be identified and rendered unnecessary or fulfilled in alternative ways. Taking Simondonian individuation as the key developmental moment in subjectivation, identifying alternative ways of fulfilling the process could greatly accelerate the development of future persons. The same question holds for other standard features of human persons, such as embodiment and emotion. To what extent are collective individuation, embodiment, and emotion necessary for the development of modes of beyond human personhood? The individuation of future persons may occur in a variety of environments that are not the physical world societies of human persons have enjoyed historically. This variety of contexts could be a combinatorial explosion, a multiplicity of worlds that are physical and virtual realities, and an even greater multiplicity in the dimensions and types of future persons. Some of the dimensions on which future persons could vary are, in terms of form, embodied or virtual, organic, inorganic, hybrid, capability, different skills and abilities, instance, one or more copies, including outdated versions, timescale, different speedups, nonlinear time, episodically triggered time, and many other possible parameters. The Simondonian means of classifying the relative otherness of future persons could be based on degrees of likeness or not likeness in different capacity spectrums. Even given the anticipated ability of future persons to self-edit, their development could track into capabilities that are categorially similar rather than different. This problem could be similar to other cases of potential but constrained variability, like evolved body plans on Earth, which have displayed similarity across epochs, and the laws of physics generally applying across the universe. The point is that the sponsoring conditions and constraints are similar, such that future persons, even given the ability to edit their own utility functions, could produce goals within a zone of similarity onto which Simondonian capacity spectrums and notions of individual and collective individuation could be mapped. My claim regarding Simondon's account of individuation and the collective, as interpreted into the context of future persons, is that a function of alterity needs to be obtained, but it does not need to come from a self-similar subject. What is needed is some sort of external otherness that can show the subject itself in a new way in a developmental moment. There is nothing in the function of alterity to suggest that it need be an other that is like the subject. The traditional answer from philosophy, especially from Simondon, Sartre, and Levinas, would be that the collective context is required for subjectivation through an encounter with alterity, that is an other that must be like the self. However, this is only because this has been the case historically. It has been easiest and most noticeable when another human serves as a device like a mirror, allowing the subject to see itself in a new way. However, it is quite possible that the alterity function could be fulfilled in many other ways that do not involve a self-similar subject. One mechanism that is already affording the subject to see itself in a new way is quantified self-tracking gadgetry. The ensemble of these gadgets creates a fourth-person perspective, an objective means of seeing the self via exteriority and alterity that can trigger a developmental moment. There could be many alternative means for fulfilling the alterity function, and possibly of progressing beyond the alterity function as a condition for individuation. Concepts and frameworks for philosophy are useful for considering a potentially diverse landscape of future persons, particularly regarding the complicated issue of subjectivation. Philosophers have long been trying to define the subject and the process of subjectivation, which belies this difficulty, even in the context of human subjects. Simondon's detailed theory of subjectivation helps to portray the current and future world as an environment of dynamic processes like individuation. Subjects participate in but do not cause individuation, and they exist on a spectrum of capacity for action with other living beings, including animals, human persons, and possibly a variety of future persons. The role of collectivity in the form of the other has been an important aspect of individuation. However, in a potentially diverse world of future persons, the alterity function that allows a subject to see itself differently and experience a developmental moment may not need to be fulfilled exclusively by a self-similar subject. Overall, philosophy signals the criticality and nuance of individuation as a key dynamic that is likely to persist in the development of future persons. Philosophical theories of individuation inspire this approach to open up greater possibility for individuation in the context of future persons by identifying the underlying functionality required in different steps of the individuation process and fulfilling it with alternative means. Thank you.